Hey guys, it's me, Freddy Pop Collector, and today's going to be the final part to the most frustrating unanswered FNAF questions. I've done 3 previous parts. This series is very similar to my Useless FNAF Facts series. I finished out that series just a few days ago, and I thought I would go ahead and round out this one with one final part. So that about wraps up the intro. Let's jump into the final, most frustrating, unanswered Five Nights at Freddy's questions. In Ultimate Custom Night, you can sometimes get a very unsettling voice line from one of the mediocre melodies when you die.
This is how it feels. And you get to experience it over and over and over again. Forever. I will never let you leave.
If you listen closely, you can hear a voice controlling the mediocre melodies like a puppet. You hear these voice lines in Orville and Happy Frog's secret voice lines as well, and it sounds a lot like Baby, but is it Baby, or is it the vengeful spirit that was in the casting? How do the animatronics find the FNAF 6 location? The events of FNAF 6 all take place in 1 week, so how do all the animatronics show up at the same time and know where the location is? For example, Ennard ends up in the sewer at the end of Sister Location, which I'm assuming is at least a few decades before FNAF 6, so how did Springtrap, who just escaped the FNAF 3 fire, Baby, who went back to Sister Location to get her old body, Ennard, who's been in the sewers, and the puppet, who was caught by Lefty, how do they all end up at the FNAF 6 location just a few hours apart from each other? In FNAF 1, there's only one camera disabled, and that's the kitchen camera. Something I've always wondered, is this where the puppet and Golden Freddy stay when they're not active? Well, I mean, Golden Freddy's a hallucination, I think, anyway. But is this where the puppet stays? Because we know he's in the FNAF 1 location based on the FNAF 2 beginning cutscenes, so where does he hide? He's not in the backstage. So is the camera in FNAF 1 obscured because that's where the puppet is? Was the FNAF 3 Fazbear Fright building originally a Freddy Fazbear's Pizza? The layout definitely is very awkward for being a restaurant, but if you look at the wall and floor tiles, they look very much like a Freddy Fazbear's Pizza to me. Every time I play FNAF 3, I think this. I don't know, maybe I'm just stupid and just not thinking of the obvious, but to me this is very frustrating and something that, I don't know, it's just something I'd like to know. One of the most confusing parts of FNAF 6 was probably the Midnight Motorist minigame. The confusing part really isn't the minigame itself, but it's when you get off the beaten path and you find 3 very interesting locations. First, we have this establishment named Junior's. Some people think this is the FNAF 2 location, and while it's possible, I don't know why Scott would call it Junior's. The second place is an open area in the middle of a woods with this weird dirt mound. And the final location is the FNAF 4 house, it seems like, with this weird orange guy. Some people think this is William, but why would Scott all of a sudden portray William as being orange? It just doesn't make any sense. This overall minigame is just probably one of the most confusing FNAF pieces to the puzzle, and that's why it's making it on this list. Tell me if you guys have any explanations for any of these, especially that dirt mound one. I have no idea what that's supposed to be. What animatronic did the bite of 87? This is a topic that I previously touched on in my first video of this series. I said in the video that I was pretty sure it was Mangle, but a lot of people seem to disagree. Some people thought it was Withered Foxy. I've heard some people say it was FNAF 1 Freddy, which, you know, it's not. But those comments got me thinking. We never did see who did the bite of 87, and to this day it's still technically an unanswered question, whether how much Scott alludes to it or how much people think, it's not proven. Where does Sister Location take place in the FNAF timeline? After Circus Baby's Pizza World was closed, the animatronics were put down in Circus Baby's in rental, but how long is it before Michael goes back down to the underground cellar and explores it in Sister Location? It could be in the late 70s, late 80s, early 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, late 2000s, we just don't know. What games or pieces of information are canon to the main series now? Because now that we know that the games are games inside the universe of the FNAF lore, which events really did happen? I'd say the only events we know 100% certain of is Springtrap getting Springtrapped, the 5 kids being stuffed inside the suits, and that's about it. Ever since I finished reading the Twisted Ones book, I thought it was pretty good, but something I've always wondered is why is Nightmare on the cover art? The only animatronics that appear in the book are Twisted Freddy, Twisted Bonnie, Twisted Foxy, and Twisted Wolf. There's no sign of Nightmare in this book. In FNAF 4, why do the Nightmare animatronics behave similarly to the FNAF 1 animatronics? Nightmare Bonnie and regular Bonnie both come through the left side, Nightmare Chica and regular Chica comes through the right side, Foxy and Nightmare Foxy have their own little separate area stage thing. Does this have any lore significance, or is it just a little coincidence? A nice Easter egg, I guess. What are the Freddos in FNAF 4, and what are they supposed to represent? They really remind me of Lonely Freddy's from the new FNAF book. I feel like these 3 characters often get overlooked and just kind of swept under the rug, but I feel like they're pretty important. Scott could have made Nightmare Freddy work on his own, so why did he feel the need to add these 3? And finally, what happens to the animatronics at 6 AM? Do they stop moving and head back to the stage, or are they still possessed and fully aware of what's going on? When it reaches 6 AM, you still have to walk out of the building. Are you in any danger, or are they just automatically deactivated? I don't know how that works. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I originally planned part 3 to be my last part, but because I finished out Useless FNAF Facts with one final part, I thought I'd go ahead and do the same with this series. Thank you all so much for supporting this series. Tell me in the comments if you guys have any more frustrating unanswered questions. Maybe I or some people in the comments could answer, and feel free to answer the questions I presented in this video. Maybe I'm just stupid and just don't know anything about FNAF. But with all that being said, that's all I have for now. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Like and subscribe if you're new. Thank you again for 18K subscribers. I'm growing really fast here lately, and I just can't thank you guys enough. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.